What is the key mandate of the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA? And why did NERSA grant Eskom a 9.4% electricity tariff increase? How much is the electricity hike likely to impact poorer households? And what are the disadvantages of relying heavily on coal to generate electricity? What time is it? It is question time. Welcome to Question Time. My name is Mpho Tsedu. In November last year, Eskom submitted an application to the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, to recover 22.8 billion, which the power utility said it used to prevent load shedding. This amounted to a 16.6% tariff increase. Last week, NERSA announced that it approved a 9.4% electricity hike for 2016-2017. And the increase is due to be implemented from the 1st of April this year. The regulator says the decision followed extensive consultations with government, small and intensive energy users, including public hearings in 6 provinces. NERSA says what remains a challenge, though, is regulating the energy industry in a manner that balances the interests of energy producers on the other hand and consumers on another. We are live. Therefore, you can call us and air your views. The number to dial 0891104210. Our Twitter handle at QuestionTime24. My guest, Charles Gerdat. He's the electricity regulator specialist from NERSA. Charles, welcome to Question Time.
Thank you. Good evening, Mpho, and good evening to the listeners.
Did you, as you say, that you went out to about 6 provinces, you consulted and all that, was there anybody who said it's a good idea to increase the price of electricity?
To be honest, offhand, I don't think so. It's very interesting when you go out on public consultation and you hear what everybody has to say. And over the time when Eskom has been applying for price increases, the whole tone of the public hearings has actually changed. In the beginning, it was outrage the first few times, and then people were saying, "Hey, wait a minute, we can't afford this." This time around, people were saying, "Listen, we just simply cannot afford to pay anymore."
So why did you decide to grant Eskom a 9.4% increase, a 9.4% increase?
Well, the 9.4% increase is a lot less than Eskom applied for. But one must remember that we have to balance the needs of the electricity consumer as well as the needs of Eskom. We have to ensure that Eskom survives.
Okay.
It's not in anybody's interest to make sure if Eskom is in difficulties. And so, we try and strike that balance where we find the right medium, to.
But sorry, Eskom does not need this money to survive. They're saying they needed it to pay for, to recover 22.8 billion rand, which they had used to avert load shedding.
Yes.
So, do we have to be penalized for?
Of the 22.8 billion that they say they used to avert load shedding, it was only 8 billion that was used to avert load shedding. It was for the running of the OCGTs. And NERSA took the view that the running of the OCGTs was really arising out of issues with the plant performance. And the plant performance is under Eskom's management control. And so the only, all that was allowed was a price variance for the fuel and the same amount of energy, but at the coal rate.
But you are aware that load shedding could have been avoided, right?
Well, that's arguable. I think that is the whole question. How did we arrive at the situation?
We arrived at it because Eskom did not listen to advice for many, many years.
Whose advice are you talking about?
Well, I'm now talking about the advice which they were given when Thabo Mbeki was still president of this country, that you need to develop the capacity of Eskom to produce electricity.
Eskom have sufficient capacity currently.
Now, why were we in darkness?
We were in load shedding because the unplanned outage rate, which should have been 7%, was 14%. So although there's adequate capacity, the capacity wasn't available online, and that was because of plant performance issues that Eskom experienced. Now the question is obviously why those plant performance issues arose.
Yes.
And it's a very complicated problem, and there's many sides to the issue. Some are from the operating.
And is it something that couldn't have been avoided?
Well, that's exactly the point of what we're saying. We're saying these issues were under Eskom's management control. That's why we didn't award.
What I'm trying to find out here is, why are we paying for people's faults?
Well, I don't think we're paying for people's faults.
We are. If you were given an advice that you should come up with strategies and measures to ensure that you improve capacity at Eskom, and you do not do that, and then some years down the line it catches up with you, then you didn't listen.
Well, it's a question of, to be fair, Eskom were trying to get permission to build Kusile and Medupi a long time before they were given permission to build Kusile and Medupi. So when they already began late. Now the problem is that they've arrived at this situation where the projects are now also delayed on top of that. If the projects had been on time, then we probably wouldn't have faced this problem.
Yeah, but then it's not our fault.
Well, that's exactly the point.
So we shouldn't be paying for this.
It's all under issues under Eskom's management control. But you're not paying for it because
we are going to pay for it. If this 9.4% comes into effect on the 1st of April, are we not going to pay? No. Or is it an April Fool joke?
No, it's not an April Fool's joke. You have to understand that the part of it which arose, or the part of the RCA which arises out of the, if you like, the lack of capacity or from the issues which are under Eskom's management control is the OCGTs. And that part has been disallowed. Well, so the part which is being allowed is that part which is based, the MYPD is based on a forecast. Now when there's a forecast, there's going to be differences. Okay,
I hear the MOPD, the OCGs and all that. I normally want to speak...
open cycle gas turbines, and the multi-year price determination.
That's
the multi-year price determination is there and was instituted so that there could be some certainty for consumers going forward of what the price path would be. Now, but you have to remember that the multi-year price determination is made, if you like, 2 years before the actual multi-year price determination comes into effect. So there are differences because you're making a forecast and then you get actuals. Okay. And the majority of the RCA which has been allowed is because of the difference between the forecast and the actuals.
And this is the same Eskom that's got huge debts. Well, it's owed billions and billions of money, right? Which they cannot collect from consumers.
Well, you'd have to speak to Eskom about that.
Well, I'm telling you, I know that for a fact.
Whether they cannot collect it or not.
They can't. Clearly they can't. Because if they were able, they wouldn't be seeking so much money. These billions, they are owed billions by municipalities and all that. Yet here you are, 9.4% you've approved. Well, let me allow our listeners to interact with you as well. Maybe I'm wrong. This is question time. We'll be taking your calls. The number to dial 089-1104-210. Tell us if you can afford this 9.4%, or perhaps I may be wrong.
The big news is Newsroom.
We also stream live on YouTube.
Whether you're at home, at the office, or at the gym, wherever you are, Newsroom is right there with you. Bringing you all the latest news, updates, sports, weather, and everything in between. Get all the latest news you need on the go via live streaming on our YouTube channel. That's Newsroom, weekdays at 9 a.m. only on the SABC News Channel.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest is Charles Geldert. He's the electricity regulator specialist from NERSA. Dougie, you spoke about this matter last week.
Yes.
Here we are.
I'm glad you got him on the show today.
Thank you, Dougie.
Because now we can tell him to his face he's a fast.
Okay.
He only looks at one side of the game and not the other side.
Okay.
It's all going about the consumers having to cough up. Nothing that's happening with Eskom. How many increases hasn't this Oki given to Eskom over the last couple of years that has just taken the money out of people's pockets? And then on top of it, the money that they give, the increase they give to Eskom, then the municipalities take double that increase. So in other words, they're giving 9.4 to Eskom, but they're giving us, the municipalities will charge us double that. And that is unfair, I think, because that has been since I don't know how many times. And then also, you pay a service fee just for your electricity, whether you're getting electricity on your premises or not. If there's a line going past your property, you got to pay that fee, that service fee. And in Meyerton where I stay, it's like 300 rand. Yeah, by now it's going to even go up. So you're paying the service fee, plus you got to pay the electrical bill, plus you got to pay whatever. So I think it's a real NERSA is a scam. It's a farce.
Okay.
They
Dougie.
don't talk. They just talk to. They just want the money from us. They don't look at Eskom.
Okay.
And say, listen, you got to start doing this, and this. And we're not going to allow you any more money. I mean, how much increase do they get, these Eskom Okies, these big guys? How much money haven't they pocketed?
Okay,
like
Dougie. Dougie, thank you very much. Dougie, he spoke about this matter last week already. So those are the people, the consumers.
Yes, I understand. That is exactly what they're saying at the public hearings, that Eskom shouldn't get any more. But we have to also make sure that Eskom is viable. They have billions in loans that have to be paid, and billions that has to be paid for the building of the new power stations.
Yes.
And so we have to make sure that they can, in actual fact, that investors will look at them and say that we can lend them this money, that they will be able to pay it back. So we have to balance Eskom's interests with the consumer's interests. It's not true that we don't care about the consumer. We care very much about the consumer. We care very much about what is going on in the economy, because companies are also closing down.
Yes. Okay. Now, you're saying, as NERSA, that you have decided that an amount of 10.256 billion rand be recoverable from standard tariff consumers for the 2016-17 financial year only.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, that amount of money will be recoverable from the standard tariff customers in the next financial year. That is in the 16-17 financial year. That's what it means.
Okay.
So the price is worked out by taking the total required revenue that is allowed to Eskom and dividing it by the forecast load, the forecast energy.
I'll take, I think I've got a question on that one, but let's take Brian first. Brian, you're in Pretoria. Welcome. Brian?
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes.
You are on air.
Yes, I'm on air.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask if we are not going to buy electricity anymore, and where are they going to get the money? We are going to use the coal, and we're going to go to the old basic things. Where are they going to recover the money from?
You mean Eskom, that is? Brian?
Yes.
I'm saying, you mean where is Eskom going to get the money from?
Yes.
So you're saying we need to buy this electricity, or what is your point?
No. If we are not going to buy this electricity.
Oh. Or at least not pay for it, because...
not pay for it.
Okay.
Not pay for it.
Okay. Yes, that's a very good question, because, I mean, Eskom may just get indebted further and further. Like I said, I mean, consumers out there, they're owing Eskom billions of rands. Well, you don't want to commit to it. I am committing to it.
Well, that is the problem. If you're not paying, if you're stealing stealing the electricity, everybody pays, and that means everybody. Because
but everybody is not paying.
No, everybody pays.
Well, not everybody is paying.
No, but even if they don't, everybody pays extra, because that money goes into the cost of goods, cost of the manufactured goods, cost of delivered goods, cost of everything.
Are you denying that there are people who are using electricity without paying?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm saying that if there's a group of people who don't pay,
yes,
that money has to be recovered.
Okay.
So that money is recovered from all the other customers who are paying. And the ones who are paying are the industries. And the industries have to put up their prices, because the price of electricity will go up because they're not paying. So everybody is paying. That's my point.
Okay. Thomas, you are in Bloemfontein.
Yes, bro, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for the call.
Okay, thank you. I heard your guest saying he's balancing the interest of Eskom with those of the consumers.
Yes.
How do you balance the two? Because the ones are the ones feeding the nation with electricity. They are supplying, and we are paying for services that we get. He just invaded one question: that are we paying for those who are not paying the electricity actually? You understand? Because
yes,
Eskom is not living up to its standard. If municipalities are owing Eskom, are we supposed to be paying for those municipalities, as he's saying? He's just put it directly now, and the nation is listening. Can he answer that?
The problem is not so much the municipalities aren't paying, it's the people who aren't paying the municipalities, so the municipalities can't pay. You know, that's where much of the issues lie, within the municipal areas where people are stealing electricity. And we are trying our best to force the municipalities to deal with that problem in an efficient way, so that what they call non-technical losses is reduced to an acceptable level, and the same with Eskom.
Okay.
And we only allow Eskom a certain amount of money for non-technical losses at a certain level. Once that level is exceeded, we don't give them money for it.
Okay. Francois, you're in the Eastern Cape. Welcome.
Hi, Mpo. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for the call.
Good, good. Mpo.
Yeah.
Man, I think somebody's got stakes in Eskom. Let me tell you, and I'm very frank, if I tell you that Eskom is actually a liability to this country, Eskom is a liability to this government, and who's been penalized, and impunities are actually on the consumers at large. And nobody is doing anything. I think they got to reconsider this thing with Eskom and do something about it. I mean, enough is enough. People are struggling, and what Eskom is doing is, like milking a cow. And that is it. I think somebody's got stakes in Eskom. That's why Eskom can get away with murder.
Okay, Francois.
That is my take.
All right, thank you. Not so sure if you would know the shareholders there, but let's look at the fact that the finance minister says, and I quote, regarding tariff increases, are they necessary or just comfortable in a particular environment? Right? He goes on to say, we need to improve governance, financial management, and state-owned entities' contribution to the developmental agenda, which means there are concerns about financial management and governance at Eskom. So, are you funding Eskom, or are you letting Eskom get money from consumers for the purposes of just comfortability, or is it necessary?
Well, obviously, the amounts of money which we awarded to Eskom in the RCA were amounts which they are rightfully entitled to, and not anything. We certainly didn't give them any gifts. We certainly didn't have any extra sympathy for Eskom. We gave them what they're entitled to in terms of the MYPD methodology.
Okay. Let's look at what our tweets are saying. Wanda Gilani, the upper class should pay double the increase in order to reach the equilibrium. Okay. Shugu Masuwa Meng says, have you ever seen Eskom employees on strike? No, they are well paid by these increases at the expense of poor rate payers. Okay, it looks like NERSA, that's Tsensu Siepe, it looks like NERSA is no way critical of Eskom. It is like they said to them, ask 16%, then we'll give you 9%. Okay, whether some behind this since, talks there, we do not know. But let's go to, I don't know, is it Sipati or Sipato? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, welcome.
Okay.
Yep. Go ahead, you are on air.
Okay, so I think when one looks at the increase that NERSA has granted Eskom,
yes,
at face value, you may think that the increase is reasonable, but it is completely not. In the sense that, as the first caller said, that this 9.4% that NERSA has granted Eskom is not completely not reasonable, because I don't know why, because my question really is going to the point that does NERSA not have any mechanism in terms of which they control the municipal increases after they've granted this whole thing? Look, I'm living in Buffalo City, and I am of the view that Buffalo City is the most expensive municipality so far as electricity is concerned. You buy 400 rand, you buy 56.2 units.
Okay.
Is there no mechanism where the increases by the municipality can be controlled as well?
All right. At what point, how far do you go in the value chain as NERSA?
Following the MYPD decision and the RCA decision, we follow that up with what is called the Eskom Retail Structural Tariff Adjustment, which then takes the revenue allowed into actual tariffs. From that determination of the actual tariff tables, Then we determine a guideline increase for the municipalities. And then the municipalities have to come back and apply before the 1st of July to NERSA for approval of their tariff tables.
Okay.
So that's where we are regulating the municipalities.
Well, let me thank you for the time, and hopefully we'll get some time again next time where we can just expand on what NERSA is doing, and you maybe bring some good news.
It's a pleasure. We hope so
Electricity
too.
will go down, I hope.
Thank you.
All righty. That was question time for today. A big thank you to my guest and to you for watching the show. From me and the crew, you have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye.